Okay, the first thing I'm going to show you how to do is to put thread on this bobbin. Every sewing machine has thread coming from two different places. Down here in the bottom it's called the bobbin, and up here on the top is where the thread sits. There has to be thread in both places or you won't be able to sew and it won't work. So the first thing we're going to do is to take the bobbin, it's got a little notch in it, and we're going to put it on this little metal pole which also has a notch. So you're going to kind of line up the notches and it clicks into place. Alright? So then we're going to put the thread on here. Alright? The first place, you're going to put the thread on there and you're going to put the locking cap on so that the thread doesn't come off. So the first thing that we're going to do is put the thread through this little loopy hole right there. It goes through there. Alright? Then it goes first around this little L-shaped. Then it goes all the way around this and inside this little slot here. And it comes back over. And then you're going to go from inside the bobbin up through this little hole. Okay? If you can't get the thread, you guys can maybe bend the thread a little bit and try to get it up through that hole, and I got it. Alright. Hang on to that thread. Okay? Don't let it go. First thing you're going to do, just push that over to the right. That's all you have to do. So the next step then is to give it some power and get it started. This is your foot presser that's going to give it power. Okay? So here we go. We're going to let it start going. Once it gets some thread on the bobbin, you can actually cut this little tail off. You don't need to hold on to it anymore. Cut it off. Alright, now put your foot on the foot pedal, give it some gas, and let it go. It'll do it all by itself. And you just keep letting it go all the way until the bobbin is full of thread. Or if you're only going to be sewing a little bit, like let's just say you're just going to be sewing one small thing, you don't need to fill the bobbin completely with thread, because you might need to use this bobbin for a different colored thread. So however much thread you think you need. If it's going to be a big project, fill it up. So we're just going to keep going. We're going to fill it up with thread. And as you'll see, the bobbin kind of won't want to go anymore. It kind of starts kind of jerking a little bit. It won't want to go anymore. That means it's full. Click it back over to the left. Pull it off. Take your scissors and set it free. Snip it. Okay. So the next step is to load it down here. There's a little black lever that moves to the right. Pops the lid off. You just take the whole lid off. Set it to the side. Take the bobbin. Make sure the thread is coming off the bobbin going to the left. Okay? Which is clockwise. Alright? If you do it the other way and put it in, it's not going to work. It's going to mess up the machine. So you've got to do it so the thread is coming off to the left. Set it in there. You see there's a little notch, one little notch right there, one little notch over there. The thread's going to go into the first notch. It's going to come around and come out that second notch. Once that's done, slide your lid back into place and pop it in. See how I've kind of got the thread coming out the back? Alright, leave that for now. The next step, we need to thread this thread through the machine. So take it out of all of that, like you're starting from scratch. It's going to start off, it's going to go through that first loop again, but this time it's going to go through the machine. Alright, first step, through that, down this first channel. What we want to make sure is for this second channel that this arm is all the way up. Alright, so we're going to turn this knob toward us, and when you do that, notice how this goes up and down. It makes the needle go up and down. See the needle down here? The needle goes up and down. You want to make sure this thread arm is raised all the way to the top. Okay, once it's all the way to the top. So we pull our thread down the first channel, around, up, it goes around this hook thing and comes back down the same channel. Down in here, there's a little metal sort of hook arm. Thread goes behind the hook arm like that. Okay. Now to thread the needle. If you're not good at getting that thread through the needle, this is really cool. There's an automatic threader. This little device will automatically help you thread the needle. And this is how we're going to do it. You lower it down. You put the thread under this little hook and bring the thread across. Bring the thread across the front of your needle. So normally I'm a little bit better coordinated, but I'm trying to do it so that the camera can see it. Alright, so you bring the thread across the needle. It's going to come and grab that thread from behind and pull it through the needle. Okay? It's going to pull it through the needle. So right now, if you can see it, the thread is actually looped through the needle. So now all you have to do is take something like a scissors or a stylus and just kind of, even I suppose you could even use your fingers to pull it the rest of the way, all the way through the needle. And you see, it's through. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to bring the thread from the bobbin up through this hole that's in the floor here. And how we're going to do that is we're going to turn this wheel toward us. Always turn the wheel toward you, okay? And when you do that, if you see, the needle goes down, all right? It makes the thread go around the bobbin, and then what you do is you take both threads that are out the back, you just kind of pull it. You pull it up, and then you take something like a scissors, and you do kind of like a little sweeping motion here, and that pulls both threads together, and it pulls them both up, and you just pull the threads back out the back of the machine, and that's where they should sort of sit, either to the back or to the side when you sew. And so that is ready to go. Now you're ready to sew.